probably the Women's World Cup.
Is that right?
I remember being.
Yeah. So what I talked about, when you go to college, you're going to have lots of options with your time. And if you're interested in working in sports, you got to carve out some time to help yourself. Like I said, there's lots of opportunities there, you just got to find them. Most people don't do that. Most people don't do that little extra. That will make a difference. And so your challenge is to find that spot where you can do that. You know, maybe if you're a junior here at Wakeland, do they have like a sports journalism? Is there a, that type of thing? You can write, you do something on the website. If you're a junior here, then you can start to get a leg up that way. It gives you great experience, okay? Now, I haven't even shared with you what the best part about all this is what it helps you do is it helps you start to narrow down what you want to do with your life, okay? Because I look at it this way, is that, let's say, I would say, have you decided you're not going to be a brain surgeon yet?
Yes.
You have decided, okay, congratulations. So you've taken the millions of opportunities out there to you as an individual, and you slowly start to narrow those down. Okay, is anybody here going to be a brain surgeon for sure? Has everyone decided they're not going to be a brain surgeon here? Yeah, pretty much? Yeah, okay. All right. So you slowly start to narrow that down. You start to eliminate things you're not going to do, okay? That's why when I asked the question about what do you want to do with your life, and you back there were going like this, I think that's great, because how do you know? 17, 18 years old? Hey, you know what? How do you know? So, but you slowly start to narrow those things down as you go through school and you go through college. Okay? Even when you graduate, I go speak to colleges all the time, and I ask that question, and I have a lot of people going, I don't know. I'm like, don't worry about that. That's great. You don't need to know, because you really don't know until you really start working. You really get into a job, get into a career, because your perception of that job, I guarantee you, is different than the reality. Okay? It's very different. It's why I'm so glad I did those internships at the TV stations when I was in college. Because if I wouldn't have, I would have graduated from college, would have went and taken a job. I remember specifically what the job was. The CBS station in Billings, Montana, was the job that was open that I would have gone for when I graduated college. So I'd have been a weekend sports anchor in Billings, Montana, making $12,000 a year. And I'd have moved out to Billings, Montana from Minnesota, where I lived at the time. And then I would have figured out this isn't what I want to do with my life. That would have been bad, right? Wasn't it better to find that out earlier? That I could make decisions differently? Absolutely. Right. So that's my challenge to all of you as you think about your future. What do you start to do to start to eliminate the things you don't want to do, okay, while getting experience about the things you're interested in, all right? I remember when I was your age, when I was a senior in high school in La Crosse, Wisconsin, okay, in the who's who of Wisconsin high school students, they made some stupid book, you had to pay like $100 to get in it. I don't think they actually, I think if you paid, you got in it, but they made it sound like that you were like the cream of the crop. Yeah, it was a bunch of crap anyway. So, in there it says, there's my name, and what does it say? It says I want to go to UNLV and I want to study sports medicine. Because when I was 18, that's what I thought I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a team physician. Okay? So, why did I think that? UNLV had just won the National Basketball Championship. Okay? And living in Las Vegas sounded cool. The sun was out. It's going to be fun. That'd be cool. Sports doctor, yeah, you make a lot of money, get to work in sports, it's great. Okay? But I didn't have the grades to get into med school, I knew that. So that went out the door. But then when I went to college, that's when I decided I wanted to be a sportscaster, because ESPN was exploding then. This was many years ago. So then I wanted to do that. Well, then I tried that, figured I didn't want to do that. Okay? You see the pattern of what's going on here? Is you start to think about those dreams, and that's great, but make sure you get experience, because that'll help narrow your focus down. All right? So when I graduated college, I got a job in sales. I sold radio advertising, I sold TV advertising, because you can get a job in sales if you can talk. Okay? And sales jobs pay a lot of money, so that's good. I like that. I was 22 years old, wanted a job. Okay? But all the while, I wanted to work in sports. I was trying to find a way in. And through a friend of a friend, I met someone that worked at the University of Minnesota. And that person invited me to come down and kind of get some experience around the athletic department. All right, so by now I was 24 years old. And that's when the bug bit me that I wanted to work in college sports. Okay? But, so I went out, was commissioner of these two conferences through my 20s, got up to 30 years old. It wasn't until I was 30 years old that I knew I wanted to be a Division I athletic director. That was my career goal. Okay? So, for those of you in here going, I don't know what I want to do, or I mean, I like pros, I like college, okay? Don't be afraid of that. Like I said, I was 30 before I knew what I wanted to do. And right now, sitting in your shoes, 30 years old, sounds like a long time, right? 30, man, that's old. You know, yeah, that's a long ways away for you guys. And that's great, because that gives you lots of opportunities to learn about yourself and about different careers as you go along. And that's what you're looking for. So, if you get experience while you're in college doing some things you enjoy, spend some time doing that, you start to build your resume, you start to think about that focus now, that's going to help you so much more. It's going to give you such a leg up on other people. You'll be really shocked how much that helps you when it comes time to getting a job. Because your resume, the first thing on your resume will be all the things, all the experiences you have. Then will be your education. Everybody else that graduates from college with their 3.5 GPA without that, the first thing on their resume is their education. And I can tell you, the employer, I don't care, not everybody agrees with this, but I don't care if you have a 3.9 or a 3.0. That doesn't matter to me. Okay? Now, I don't want you to have a 2.0. Okay? But the 3.9, 3.0, I'll take the 3.0 person with all the experience and the extra stuff they did versus the 3.9 person who didn't get that experience. That's the balance that I think most people want. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah?
What do you see as the most important life skills that they should concentrate on, be it that they're 5 years earlier than most people that come? But what are you seeing that they need to focus on, or what you're seeing that's coming out of college need to focus on and give them a leg up?
Being able to work in groups and communicate with people is, I think, still the most important skill you can have. Okay, you have to be able to communicate with people in an effective way. And communication's changed. Obviously, we never, to think there was text messaging, we never dreamed that up 20 years ago. Trust me, nobody ever thought that would ever happen. Okay? So, but you still have to be able to face to people. You have to be able to talk. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to listen. Okay? You have to think about what you're saying and how you're saying it and when you're saying it, and those communication skills. I think the work ethic is there for anybody that wants to be successful. If you're driven internally to be successful, then you're going to find a way. Everybody does it differently and that. But I still think that communication is so important for you to be able to communicate, with people effectively. Be able to listen to understand, and then be able to dialogue in a way that you can get your point across without, sounding like you're putting them down. So I think that's really important. If you want to get a job in sports, you got to be willing to move. You got to be willing to travel. You got to be willing to pack up and go. All right? So I've been in sports for 25 years, 24 years. Okay? I've moved 7 times. Okay? Started in Minnesota, went to Colorado, back to Minnesota, to St. Louis, Missouri, to Madison, Wisconsin, back to Minnesota, to Akron, Ohio, and now to Dallas, Texas. Right? My wife's a trooper. We've been married 23 years. Upped and moved that many times.
7, I did 7.
Yeah. So that's not uncommon. It's very uncommon for somebody to get a job in sports and stay at that job for a long time. Those stories are few and far between. Because if you want to advance, you got to be willing to move. Now, I didn't want to move to Alaska, okay? And I've never lived south until now, but I can see why people live south. If this was winter, I'm all for this. First time I've never shoveled snow my whole life. It's a pretty good deal. So, all right, so how about some questions? Hear from you guys. What do I know about college sports? About sports sponsorships? I'm going to call on people now if you don't. So I'm going to call on the people that I thought were paying the least attention while I was talking. So I was making eye contact with every one of you. So yeah, go ahead.
I was just curious, do you work over in the main offices? Like where we come in?
Yeah, I'm back there, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I work over in like the secondary.
Yeah.
Digital.
On the 5th floor.
Lowry and Jill.
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, so I'm on the opposite end.
Yeah.
What areas are growing in terms of that are new? Because I guess today, if you think about what jobs are coming up 5 years from now, they haven't existed yet.
Yeah.
But what do you see is coming up that when they get out of college might be?
Well, let me answer two different ways. The first way I'm going to answer that is nobody ever says they want to go into sales. Okay, nobody's like, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be in sales. Okay, but I promise you that half of you would be really good at it and really enjoy it because you get out and see people and you have flexible hours and you make a lot of money. Okay, and everybody needs salespeople. And they'll need salespeople when you graduate from college too. Sell tickets, sell sponsorships, whatever it is. They'll need salespeople. So at least have an open mind to that. You don't have to say, I want to be in sales right now, but have an open mind to it. Okay? If you're good with people, if you like to have fun, you like to talk, and that, you could get a job in sales. Now, it's really damn hard. Sales is hard. Okay? Frisco Rough Riders, right? The AA baseball team down here. I haven't been to a game yet, but probably, has people been to a game? Yeah? Okay. So they probably have 12, 15 salespeople that sell tickets. Okay? And they probably have another 5 or 6 people that sell sponsorships. Okay? You think it's easy to sell tickets to the Frisco Rough Riders? Hammering the phones all day for 8 hours a day, try to get people like me to buy season tickets or a mini game pack of 10 games, or buy the Monday package. We got 17 Monday games. You can get them all for $2 a piece, you know. Well, first of all, I'm probably not going to answer the phone, right? Because it's going to come up telemarketer on my caller ID. Yeah. And then do I want to give up 17 Mondays to go to the Rough Riders games? Probably not, you know. So it's really damn hard, but it's really rewarding because the people that tough it out do really well. Because if you can bring in revenue to the entity you're at, you have job security. Okay? If you're in accounting, or you're in marketing, or you're on the operations side of a team or college, you're an expense. You're bringing in zero revenue. Now you're still an important part of the operation, but you're bringing in zero revenue to the team. Okay? So people will always need salespeople. All right. So where do I see it exploding? To his question, I think that the whole electronic digital media portion of this here, that page is still up, the production side of what makes it great, I think that's going to continue to grow. And what do I mean by that is we're slowly getting to the point where every game, no matter where it's on, I can pull up on my iPhone, right? We're not quite there yet, you know. Like I'm not sure I can pull up a Webster, what sport? Well, I'm not sure I can pull up a Webster baseball game, but I'm getting there. It's getting close. I might be able to, but if I do, the production quality is not going to be great, right? Now, it could pull up an NBA game out here, and the production quality is just as good as my high-def TV, okay? But 5 years from now, the whole production part of every single event that's out there, and this isn't just in college, this is here at Wakeland as well, you know? So my son plays football here at Wakeland, right? So he's a sophomore. So by the time he's a senior, you know, he plays on a Friday night, I might have to be somewhere. I might have to be at, you know, Wisconsin, let's say, for meetings at the Saturday football game. I want to be able to watch the Wakeland High football game Friday in high def with multiple camera angles right here on my phone. Okay? I can't do that right now. Okay? But that's where I see it going. It's going to end up where everybody's going to need lots of people to do that. And the great thing about you and your age group, your generation, is you've already kind of mastered I won't say the technology behind it, but how you use the technology. Okay, so what we need from all of you is to figure out the next step, which is how do companies, how does Learfield, how does ABC, ESPN Sports, how do they monetize that part? Because they're only going to do it if they can make money on it, right? ESPN's only going to, for ESPN to produce it, it costs so much. They're only going to do it if they can make money. So the only way Wakeland can do it for every sport is if financially it can work, right? So I think that's really going to take off. I mean, it's already started to take off. I just don't think that people have figured out how to make the monetary side of it work yet. Okay? Because don't we think everything we see online should be free, right? So then the question is, how do you make it so that, how does ESPN make money on it? Okay? They're losing lots of money right now. Why is ESPN losing money right now? Anybody know? Because people aren't paying the cable rights, their cable bill. People aren't paying as much to the cable companies now because they don't want to, right? We pay $280 a month at my house for our cable, or TV, internet, cables all packaged together with Time Warner. Okay, now we get every channel known to, you know, everyone. And 100 we don't, or 300 we don't watch. But people like me are gonna start saying, okay, I don't really wanna pay that much. Because I really only watch about 20 channels, right? I mean, at home, how many channels do people really watch, right? So I just wanna pay for those 20 channels. Well, everybody in here is gonna watch ESPN, but I bet we have neighbors, each of us, we all don't live far from each other because we're all in the school district, right? We all have neighbors who don't watch any ESPN, correct? So they don't want, they're paying for it. If they have Time Warner or DirecTV or however they're getting there, they're paying $6 a month to ESPN, right now. Every one of us is. Every check I write, that $6 is going straight to ESPN. 6 of those $280. So people don't want to pay that anymore. So people are canceling their subscriptions. And so now ESPN is having to try to figure out how do they deliver the content that people will pay for because they're not paying for it as part of their cable bill. So as you look to the future in sports broadcasting, and think about how that's driven so much money into every entity. Okay, why is the NFL so rich? Because of the media packages that the TV partners are paying in. Fox paying almost $1 billion a year just to broadcast NFL on Sunday. Okay. ESPN paying just the Big Ten, $200 million a year to broadcast Big Ten football and basketball, much less the Big 12 or SEC. So think about that. Yep, go ahead.
Do you have an office location at each college?
Yes. Yep, there's an office at every school, real close to where the administrative offices are and marketing and that. Because our people work with the marketing people so much, because the marketing people build the scripts for the game. Here's what's going to happen this time out. We're going to do this PA. We're going to have this sponsorship. We're going to talk about this. Our people have to kind of plug in with them on everything that happens. So we work really closely with those people. Yeah. Okay, a few more questions. Come on, we got 6 minutes left. Go ahead.
How many times do you like travel to different places a year?
Yeah, I travel at least every other week to go to 2 or 3 schools, and I'm scattered all over the country. So, like I work with Florida Atlantic, which is in Boca Raton, Florida, and I work with Boise State, UC Irvine, and Manhattan. I big schools, small schools. So I'm on the road, 2-3 days at a time. Usually fly out on like Tuesday and fly back Thursday night. Try to juggle it around my kids' schedule and that. But it's good to be out and see what's going on in each of the schools. Because I work, in my job, I work with the athletic directors on our contract to try to the contract. We have a contract with every school, and I work with the ADs on what's in the contract. In my position, I don't oversee the sales staff. There's other people in our organization that do that, oversee the salespeople. My job is to purely work with the athletic directors and the people on site there for the athletics department to make sure that everything's working the way we need it to. Both for them and for us, because we signed kind of 10-year contracts with these groups, and we need to make sure that it's working for both of us. Because they might be happy they're making their millions, but we need to make sure we're making ours. But we also can't make $6 million and have them only make $6 million. Because they're going to know that we're selling $12 million then, and they're going to say, we should probably get more than half. And I would agree with them. They should get more than half. So, all right, what else? Come on, someone in the back row other than our intern needs to ask a question. Hold on.
What do you think when they're in school?
You don't count.
That's okay.
That's right, you do count, of course.
When they're in school, maximizing their classes,
Mhm.
they get free credits to take. If they want to go into sports management, they're going to probably major if it's like UMass where I went to go to school business, other schools, it's through the school marketing or the school rec.
Right.
But with those extra free credits, what do you think they should do with those? Besides taking a couple bowling classes, which I did anyway, but
Right.
the majority of them I did other things.
Yeah, yeah.